Chelsea toiling in the FA Cup as we speak, Dennis. Is he the answer to their problems?
He's a handful on his day, he really is. No, I don't think he is, I'm being totally honest. The reason being is doesn't play enough games. Has had a lot of injuries. He's 29 years old. Doesn't score enough goals. And so, therefore, looking at from that point of view, no. And I think that Chelsea, they need a striker that likes to go in behind to stretch teams. He won't be that person if they play with one up front. He will be more of a hold-up. And I think with the players that they've got, they come off more, and they always need that one person that's really going to stretch to give them the space.
Do you think that's what they are looking for, or perhaps does he come in that category, something different?
Something different. If they want him
maybe not as a regular starter.
Maybe not as a regular, but you know, would Andy be satisfied? Would he be satisfied with going there, knowing that he's not going to be a regular, he'd be a bit part player? Maybe he would. Not for me. I think there's more out there, and they'll score more goals because they'll get a lot of chances and play and really push Morata, and that's what he needs. I think Andy won't push him as far because he'll play only a certain amount of games, and I think you want a player that's really going to push Morata, that's going to score goals and put him under pressure.
Craig, you played alongside Andy Carroll at Liverpool. What's he like and what's he got?
Look, his strength is in the air. You get him in the box. Any type of cross, really, I say any type of cross. He likes the ones that are hung up so he can go and attack. Very difficult to deal with. But just in general play as well, looking to link, he's very difficult to link with. Doesn't see it, doesn't see the game. But also, you're right, going in behind. But I also, you know, my conversations with Andy, and I do like him as well, but I don't believe you work hard enough in a week to be the player you want to become. And I never seen an inch of that. Like with Jordan Henderson, he was going through a difficult period at that time as well. But with Jordan, you just seen him train. Just keep improving, go into the gym. He worked, and I knew, and I remember saying to Jordan, you're going to be a top player. I know it, just by your attitude and the ability you have, it will turn. I never thought that was going to be a case of Andy.
What, laid-back character?
I wouldn't say laid-back. If he went to the gym, he felt a little bit stiff. Then he felt, well, I don't want to go to the gym anymore. I don't like the sauna. So I just thought that pain barrier, sometimes you need to go through as a player. And I'm not talking about injuries or anything like that, because is some of his injuries part of where he doesn't look after himself enough? I feel that's always the case with Andy. And I just felt with him, he doesn't have the mentality or drive to be the top player, to be at Chelsea levels, to be at a club like Liverpool for more than one season. And that's what I just always felt with Andy.
Were you surprised, either of you, that he's been linked with Chelsea?
I was.
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
Yes, I was. Because he's not the type of player I think they go for. You know, someone who's big and they stick crosses in, because they're a little play around the corner and get it back and get in behind like that. And as Craig said, his link-up play is not the greatest. And they need someone who's up there who can link things. You know, you've got to go into him. Yes,
so he wouldn't strike you as a Conte signing, particularly?
No, he really wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. And he's not the type of player I think associate at the moment. You know, I think we had Chris Sutton. He was that type of big, strong. His link-up play wasn't great. You know, when he came, he really struggled at Chelsea, Chris, unfortunately. And I find Andy a bit like Chris. And we had a lot of ball players at the time that could get it and get in behind and play. And he's a bit like him, and it didn't really suit because we got him behind by passing it through a lot. Yes, we will put crosses in, and I think that's how Chelsea play. Yes, they put crosses in, but they also link up well and get him behind the spaces. And I don't think he'll link up very well. And
yeah, but Dennis made a good point as well. You know, if you look at the players they have, especially with Hazard as well, you need someone running in behind. Because then it creates a space for him. Because he comes to feet and he's able to pick it up. Like you know, with De Bruyne, I think he's one of the best players in the Premier League.
But do you both think they need somebody else and need somebody else now? Because although Batshuayi scored this evening, he's not getting the vote, is he, from Conte?
He's never filled. He looks like he's not. Conte's not convinced by him. I've not been convinced by him. But what you said with Morata needs pressure.
I watched I watched the Leicester versus Chelsea game, and he caused a lot of problems, Jamie Vardy. And you know, I have said it before. The guy scores goals, he gets in behind, he's quick, he stretches the team, leaves the space for the creative players where they need to drop themselves, that can run at the back four, back three and play off. They need someone else. I don't think Andy Carroll is the answer, you know, to solve it, you know. Another one, Aguero, it would be lovely to try and get someone like that, but I don't think they will. I don't think he'd let him go, but they need someone who's going to go in behind, who's good at link play. I think Andy won't go in behind, and he's not great at link play.
Do you also have concerns as to who is identifying the players at Chelsea at the moment? Whose signings or whose even suggestions they are?
I'm curious to understand that, you know, because I know before Michael Emanola, who done a fantastic job at Chelsea, was very much involved in that. And what is Antonio? Head coach? What is in his contract? Is he head coach or is he manager? Is he picking the signings? Yeah, and it'd be interesting to really understand that part of it, because you see
whenever he's asked, he says, I give them a list.
Yes, and that's kind of something that you look at and you think, that's not an answer.
It's telling you he's not picking them.
Yeah, that's not an answer you would expect. You say, because I'm sure if you go on to the other managers, they will say, yeah, I like that player, I'd like to sign that player. And they kind of tout the player on telly. It's quite interesting.
Well, they're obviously the fans of the player, they're enthusiastic. But you don't get that,
no,
do you?
I don't get that, no. And I don't get that at the moment in certain players that have been thrown. You wouldn't answer the question.
No.
You know?
Well, and again, with that combined with the, well, if you like, the uncertainty over Conte's future, it just seems all a bit of a muddled picture. It's like the Ross Barkley signing.
Yeah.
It's not as though he said, oh, I'm delighted that we've got him. Fantastic signing for the club. Therefore, you know, great. He just he's a young, promising English player.
Yeah, that I will work with. And
it's not exactly a ringing endorsement, is it?
No, it's not. You know, and it's an interesting scenario. What's going to happen at Chelsea, I think, as well, because depending on what happens, whether Chelsea win a trophy by the end of the year, to see how things work out, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Conte does stay or doesn't stay, and I think it will gradually pan itself out by the end of the season, obviously, on what's won.